Hello, everybody. This is Boris Schlossberg. Welcome to another edition of the Trading Battle. We got a very, very, very special show for you today. It's going to be team against team, brother against brother. We have guys from Trader Society today. Everybody up very, very late on the West Coast. Hey, guys, how we doing? They're ready. They're ready to do battle already. Today we have actually Team Blue with Conrad and Derek. Say hi, guys. Wave.
What's up?
What's going on, guys?
Hey. And they're ready. They're ready for battle. He's got his boxing gloves on. I don't know. He's going to be placing trades with those. I guess he's going to be giving the directions. Derek and Conrad, and then we also have Team Red that are sitting pretty much in the same office, but just in another place. Anthony and Grant. Where are your gloves? I guess there's only one pair of gloves for you guys. Okay, you're going to do hand-to-hand combat. You don't need gloves.
Yeah.
So. These guys are super interesting because they, I think, sort of in a way, kind of invented their own style of trading and their own kind of trading business, which is fascinating. We'll get into discussion about everything about that. But first of all, let's just say hi. Let's see how your sound is. Everybody's good. Everybody hears me, right?
I think we're good over here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hold on, let me sound check.
Good over there.
Let me sound check.
Sound check is good. Yeah, sound check. We hear the boxing gloves and everything else. So I guess, first question maybe to Team Blue, and you guys take it. You guys created a kind of a very unique environment where you're trading collaboratively. Trading is a very, very lonely sport a lot of times, and it's usually a sole endeavor. What made you go a different way? How did this whole thing start?
Well, honestly, we were trading. Well, I traded with Team Red Guy over there for quite a while.
Okay.
And we kind of all just developed a similar strategy. We all trade a little bit differently, but also pretty similar. Pretty similar. So
now, did you guys know each other from like prior life, or how did you guys all get together? I mean, how was the social connections made originally?
So Grant and Anthony, they actually grew up together. And then I met Anthony about 7 or 8 years ago, and it was like this trading company, and we were both in it. And next thing you know, Anthony flew out, and now we're bros.
Wait, so who was the first to get into trading? Like who was the first exposed to trading?
It was either me or Anthony, probably around the same time.
Pretty much same time.
Pretty much same time. And how did you guys stumble into trading? Was it were you just watching YouTube, or did somebody open an account? And what was your trading like first? Did you start with Forex, or what did you guys do?
So over here, I started with an MLM company, and then quickly exited. And then kind of actually self-taught. I watched some videos, but mainly I just watched the charts so much that I developed a strategy, and it's been working. So.
Sorry. It's my alerts going off. God. Okay, sorry about that. Speaking of trading, okay, I gotta kill my alerts while we're on air. Go ahead. Yep. Sorry. So you just how many hours of chart staring would you say you did before you felt even remotely confident in what you were doing?
I spent probably 14 to 16 hours a day on the charts for a long time, and then ended up, spending a little bit less and less time after I started getting better and better. But now I'm checking, I set alerts on TradingView. I'm checking charts, probably once an hour.
Okay.
And,
yeah, I mean, you always have to put in a lot.
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
4 years of just staring at charts and dripping money into the market, right?
Losing everything.
Sorry, what's that?
He said losing everything.
Losing it all.
Losing it all, refunding it, losing it all. Now, what in your earlier days, what were you guys trading? What instruments were you guys usually trading at that point?
Me personally, I traded GJ for GBP JPY for about 5 years straight. I just scalped the 1 and 5 minute, and then my strategy. It's the same exact strategy I've been doing, but now I do any time frame.
Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, we're going to talk about your strategy and yourself. Well, how about you guys on Team Red? What
Trade
what do you
everything.
guys trade?
Everything and anything. Yeah.
So
Mostly.
essentially, what uh, uh, is one of you really focused on one particular instrument as their primary trading, or do you guys
No.
trade everything?
We trade everything.
Anything we see,
What's that?
anything we see in the
Sorry.
market,
Yeah.
anything we see in the market that makes sense is what we do.
Anything you see in the market. So do you guys have scanners? How do you determine what instrument you know?
So we have specific patterns that we trade normally. We trade a lot of hidden divergence. We use a lot of moving averages. We use divergence, and then it's called a shark fin. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but trade a lot of shark fins.
Okay, we'll talk about that. I'm not familiar with shark fins. Okay, cool. All right, one of the things that you guys post a lot about is US 30. That seems to be an instrument that you guys like a lot. Let's do a little bit of analysis on what's happening in US 30 today. Let's do Team Red first. Anthony and Grant, you guys want to share the chart with me? Let me know how you guys look at the particular instrument and what your view is at this point.
Absolutely. So first we started with I'm a very, very high time frame trader. So I started on the weekly. And as you can tell, we've had a really good uptrend for a while. But then inside of this uptrend, we did not have for me, this does not count as a break of the high structure. So it told me that with this trend up here, it was going to be broken. And then when it started breaking, I see that we're now forming a downtrend. And then when I also saw the 50 and 200 moving average cross like this is the first time touching the 50 moving average after the cross. It's starting to form this downtrend. So I'm still looking for it to sell for a while. Is really what I'm looking for. The overtime, higher time. And so
on the higher,
I look for sales.
Sorry.
And so now since I'm looking for sales, in our live last week, I called a sell right here after this this blue candle printed. I called a sell after this, and we've been in it since. And we're going to continue to scale in.
Sorry, what time frame is that? Is that an hourly time frame? I guess it's a little hard for me to see.
Yes, this is the hourly time frame.
Okay, it's the hourly time frame. What convinced you that was? I mean, obviously everything was under the moving averages when you were looking at that chart. But what made you pull the trigger at that particular point on the chart?
Honestly, I was just live, like live with my students, and usually. So there's a lot of candle patterns that I see, especially going to the lower time frames. So when it fell to break above the 15 moving average after hitting the 800, when it fell to break the 15 and stay above the 15, that then told me that the market was going to continue to keep shorting.
Got it. Okay, hang on a second. I'm sorry, guys. Just bear with me. My fault. I have all my alerts
No
on.
worries at all.
Drive us crazy. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm back. It's the occupational hazard. Do you guys set off alerts too, or you're primarily chart traders? I mean, pattern traders.
Are you
Mostly
talking red team?
Mostly patterns. I don't really check any type of. I don't set alerts that much unless it's pending orders, but that's about all. I mean, I don't really. I'm so active on the charts every day, and I'm such a higher time frame trader that it just kind of makes it easy for me.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I mean, you start with a weekly. So let me walk me through a little bit about your process. You start with a weekly, and then what chart do you like to take your time frame trades on?
Mostly the daily or the 4 hour. Mostly daily or 4 hour time frame for me.
So in that particular trade that you called live, what were the stops? What were the targets? Like how wide a stop was that on the daily?
On the daily, I would have had Let me go to the weekly. I would have put it if it would have broke the 50 above this.
Okay, but what is that in points? I'm curious. Like, how many points were you risking on the daily?
Well, about 1,800 or 18,000.
No, 1,800.
Oh, 1,800.
Oh, it is
18.
Yeah.
So for the Dow, that would be 1,800, right? For the Dow, you're
Yeah.
trading about 1,800 points of risk. So that means you could be floating in that trade for how long would you be floating in that trade? I'm just curious. How long would you be holding that trade?
Until it hits my stop loss, I take profit.
Right, but in terms of time, what's an average time? I'm curious about the process.
I'm usually in trades between 10 and 18 days.
Wow. You're like an investor. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Okay. What about Team Blue, Conrad and Derek? What's your process, and first of all, what do you guys think about the US 30? Let's talk about that, because I know it's an instrument you guys all like.
So I'm a confluent trader, so I look for areas of the market that are very confluent. So if I were to mark up US 30, I'd go from a top-down analysis and start with the weekly. And as you can see here on the weekly, I already have that. I already had it. This is something that I called in my group, actually. And so I used a lot of trend lines, but I used a lot of trend lines that come back to like a moving average. So if there's a trend line off of a moving average, I consider that a very nice area of confluence. So that's what I look for.
Sorry, can you back up a little bit? What is a trend line off of a moving average? What does that mean?
So right here we have the 50 moving average, right?
Yeah.
Right here, this is, so this is my moving
cool.
average. I use the 50 moving average a lot. And then I look just for areas of confluence off of these moving averages. For example, like right here, I look for areas of the market that have been rejected, or just something that would make sense for the market to move in a different direction, or just areas that would make sense to why it's going to move the way it's going to move. And for this, like, for example, like I had a short here just based on, we have a touch right here, we have a touch right here, came back, now the third touch of the trend line off that 50 moving average, and with the TDI as well.
So just to stop you right there, the short itself, you would take that on the close of that candle that touches. Basically, candle touches, doesn't break. Since it closes below the moving average and the trend line, that's your go signal?
Yes. So for me, no. So for me, there's no, as soon as it touches this trend line, I also base this on smaller time frames, but as it touches the trend line and the 50 moving average, this is where I'm going to enter the trade. Now, I don't trade off the weekly time frame. So like, let's say this is the 4 hour. I'm going to take it as it comes to this trend line 50 moving average, short it right here. Got a little bit of drawdown. Now, once I get a decent amount of profit and it touches, let's say, the 8 moving average or another area of confluence, I'm putting my stop loss in profit, protecting my trade, and kind of letting it do what it's supposed to do.
Okay. What would you, if that thing just went through the trend line and then barreled through against you, where would you stop yourself out on this particular chart? Where would be your risk?
So for me, this is how I'd end up doing it. I'm gonna look at the lower time frames here. So as you can see, we have the 200 moving average. Now I use the TDI a lot for my entries. We have a little tiny shark fin right here off a confluent area, and a shark fin.
For everybody who's watching, can you explain what is a TDI and what is a shark fin?
So the TDI is a combination of Bollinger Bands mixed with an RSI. And if you notice here, let's look right here. This is what I would call a shark fin, right? So it's like, looks like a shark's out of the water, essentially. Mm-hmm. Now, when we get something like this on an area of confluence, then you'll oftentimes, I'd say 95% of the time, you're going to see the market, like the RSI, for example, it's like a rubber band. So when it's outside of the Bollinger Bands here, it's always got to snap back in place, especially if it's in a confluent area. So for this, we have a shark fin. Let's just say I'm looking to trade this. Let's look for an area that makes sense to why it would short. So, I mean, really, there's only 3 touches right here. But with this, maybe on the lower time frame, since I know on the daily we have this shark fin, market's gonna, even without confluence, the market this shark fin right here will literally do this without confluence probably 75% of the time, with confluence in the market probably 95% of the time.
Okay, so what is? I mean, it's going to come back up, right? It's rallying
Yep,
back
yep.
up. So what's your view on that? I mean, you're looking to get short. So what does that tell you as a?
So on
as a
this,
view?
like my view of this is how I look. I see the daily time frame. We have a little shark fin, which is another area of confluence. If I were to pull up, nice area right in here that was rejected clearly. So now we have nice support.
Oh, I see.
Nice support.
Yep,
Nice
you're
support in here.
So the shark fin is on the top. So you're looking to get short. So you're looking for a shark fin, something that pops above. In other words, highly overbought condition where you're going to be confident it's going to come back down.
Yep, exactly. Especially the main point is having that confluence. Like I don't lose many trades just for the pure fact that like I use confluence so regularly with the TDI that the market kind of just does what that TDI will say it's going to do. And that's typically what I'm looking for.
To put that in kind of layman's terms, it sounds like the primary structure of your setup is whatever direction you're in. You're looking for, if you want to get long, you're looking for an oversold condition, using your indicators to get long. If you want to get short, you're looking for an overbought condition using the indicators to get short.
Yep. Exactly.
That obviously puts you in a very favorable risk-reward ratio because you're coming, if you're correct on the big trend, you have very, very little drawdown against you because you're in an overbought condition.
Exactly. I rarely have a lot of drawdown because I trade in such confluent areas.
I see. However, are you still? I'm just trying to understand. Like in that particular example you gave, assuming you're wrong. Market now goes from being a bear market to being a bull market. Just starts to rip in your face. Where would your stop be structurally? Would it be at those prior highs on the chart?
So for me, like after a trend line breaks, like I haven't. So I won't take a trade less than 1 to 2 risk to reward. So if I'm trading something like this is the thing. If it breaks the trend line or breaks the area of confluence, I'm looking for my next area of confluence in the market to eat. And if this is too far away, I'll exit very soon. But if it's close, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for it to go to that next area of confluence, see how it reacts off that area. And if it busts through that, then I'm just out of that trade. But oftentimes, honestly, it will react off the area I'm looking for 95% of the time. But the thing is like, if it does break that trend line, and for this would be like what I'd be looking at. Okay, so if it breaks this, I'm going to exit this trade like pretty quick, just for the pure fact that I know the next area is up in here. Next area of major resistance is right up in here. So I know it's going to go up there. I don't have to deal with that drawdown. I can wait to see what it's going to do after it gets up to that area.
Okay.
But I will have my stop. What were you going to say?
Go ahead. No, it's okay. You were saying you're going to have your stop where?
Yeah, so I would have my stop, like, for example, this is why I put the market going to here, because I knew this was like another area of confluence, right? We have a touch here, touch here, touch here, came back, broke through, touched here again. Now I knew the market was going to go to here, just for the pure fact that that's a confluent area. That's where the market's rejected a lot. And so that's where I know the market's going to go. So if I was to mark this up, call this a signal, I'm going to do this. I'm going to trade it off the confluent area right in here. And I will do a 1 to 2 maximum. Now, if I were to look at this and say, oh, I'm not going to put it there because I know if it breaks, it's going to go up to that next area. So with this one, I could do a 1 to 3, something like that. That's
interesting. So it's really interesting. You sort of start, your process is kind of reverse to what a lot of people do, which is that you start with a trade structure and a target. And then you adjust what's dynamic in many ways is your stop, not your target is kind of more or less fixed based upon trading structure, but
Yep.
it's your stop is variable based upon how you're looking at the chart and where as long as it's within 1 or 2, you can actually make it even 1 to 3
Yep.
on the chart. It's kind of interesting, and of course this is all. We're looking at. It's hard for me to see because it's a little small for me. Is that a daily chart that we're looking at here?
Yeah. So this is the daily time frame right in here.
Right.
And
Right.
so like this would be something I would trade, right? Because there's a nice area of confluence. I see on that weekly time frame that that's a 2 hour or 2 week. I see on that weekly that we have a nice trend line, and I don't care if price breaks here. This happens often. But came back, rejected again. Now, especially when you have that, let me zoom this in a little bit. When you have that 50 moving average on that area of confluence right in here, especially with all this structure, right? You add those together. We have the trend line. We have a nice retest up to this 50 moving average. We have a nice resistance right in here. Those are support turned resistance. Those are the things that I'm looking for personally. When I'm trading.
Got it. Interesting. So you hunt. How often do you put on a trade given that kind of a long-term analysis?
I honestly average, I would say 2 to 3 trades a week is what I'm taking. And usually I look for my entries on the 4 hour.
Okay. And that's name the broad basket of assets that you guys just look at for your trade ideas.
What was that?
What would be the universe of assets that you're choosing the trades from?
So everything you see right here, every morning I come in here and I look through every one of these pairs to see if any of these time frames are lining up. Any of these pairs are lining up to a specific trade. So like now
it's hard to see the actual pairs. Can you maybe just to read out, just give us a general idea? Is it the major crosses? Is it the commodities?
It is literally every pair, every Forex pair, and then I have the indices as well.
Indices, okay.
And then gold and silver and stuff like that, oil.
So you guys you'll trade oil, you'll trade gold, you'll trade silver as long as they set up on the structure for the thing. Interesting. So overall, it sounds like, let's just say it's basically about 50, just give or take, about 50 different assets you want to look at every day, and how long does it take you to kind of go through the charts, make your assessment?
Probably an hour.
Yeah.
So I'll do like a quick run through every pair by myself, like quick run through. I can look through the daily time frame down, and if I see something that I do like on like the 4 hour, 1 hour, whatever, I'll look at the weekly to see if that lines up. If it lines up, then I'll take the trade.
It takes me a little bit longer. He's much quicker.
Got it. All right. Well, everybody's itching for you guys to start trading, so we're going to go to our challenge 2, which is now we're going to go to Team Red, Anthony and Grant, and you guys got to choose the way of this challenge is going to work is you got to choose the instrument, and then Team Blue is going to choose direction, and you guys have to choose. You guys are going to be on the opposite of that direction. So in other words, you're going to choose what everybody's going to trade. And they're going to choose their direction, and they're going to put you in the opposite direction. So it's going to it's a little bit of game with us here.
How long is the trade have to play out?
So the trade I think is all the way to the end of the week, right? Is that we have a week?
Okay.
Yeah. This is it doesn't have to play out to the end, but we will keep an eye on it, during the trading session just to see how it's doing. But especially since given you guys are both on longer term time frames, this is within your constraints,
Perfect.
So Anthony and Grant, what are you guys looking at that looks interesting to you?
Let's do it. No? Okay. Let's see.
5 days. 5 days on Monday, my producers tell me. So you have till Monday for this trade to play out. What do you think is, what instrument looks most promising to you?
Some quick chart markups. What's that? A chef?
Whole world's watching, boys.
I'm trying to see what Vandy would take off of being risky.
Are you right?
What are you guys looking at? What chart is that?
This
AUD
is
NZD.
AUD NZD. Yeah.
How long do we have to choose?
How long do you have to choose?
Yeah. Do we have to
choose
decide in like now?
Now.
Yeah. You have to choose what you like to do. Well, you know, when you were coming in, and you know, let's say you were doing your chart work yesterday and today, what looked attractive to you?
Well, but the thing is, I have to beat them. Like we have to beat them, so I have to like figure out a complicated pair because I don't get to pick the direction I want to go. So
you want to do something. You want to do something complicated in the chart that they're going to have a hard time figuring out which way to go. I see.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. Pick something totally range bound and completely unreadable, like this. Whatever it is that you're looking at, that looks you know, very, very hard to pick.
DJ,
It's hard because
NZD, Euro USD. What's ranging?
go to
That's
that's-
What
but if it buys back into like
the hard part about this from which one of my chart? One of my charts is going off again. Sorry,
hard
guys.
part is that we're so competitive that we're trying to win.
Well, don't worry. It's for charity. It's all for good cause.
What do you
Let's,
guys say you're gonna do? NZ, what do you guys say you're gonna do?
I mean, I can flip it around. If you guys are having a hard time, I can flip it. I can make Conrad and Derek pick a instrument, and then you guys
NJ.
pick a direction. That way.
NJ.
NZD JPY.
Yes.
Okay, so Kiwi yen. Okay, that's a nice convoluted little chart with seemingly little direction. Lots of stall by the way. What is that?
Okay,
That's
go
the
for it.
Kiwi yen.
NJ, that's our pair.
Okay, Kiwi yen. They're picking that now. Which direction are we going to go with Conrad and Derek? Which way?
For a week, for 5 days.
For a week. For a week.
Conrad,
What are you going to do with Kiwi yen? That looks like it looks like it could range forever. It's
That's why I chose
that's
it.
interesting. That's funny. You know what's interesting? In this little exercise, I'm kind of fascinated by this. So you picked literally the kind of trade you would never do because there's very little on the chart here to give you any meaningful confidence that there is some kind of direction developing. That's super interesting because in a way, you know, if you pick the worst chart, it's just as helpful as picking the best chart because it helps you to avoid bad setups. It's kind of interesting. So I just realized that, you know, one of the values of that kind of a exercise is it basically helps you eliminate what you would not do, which is in many times much more important than figuring out what it is that you would do. Okay, so what do you, Conrad and Derek? What do you guys want to do with this thing? You guys are looking, trying to squeeze blood from a stone here, figuring out which way it's going to go.
For us with NJ,
Yeah,
is that we have to do NJ, right?
yeah, that's
Well-
you. They're forcing you. You guys got to pick direction, and they're going to go the opposite direction. They're going to be on the opposite side. They're going to be on the opposite side. So everybody's playing chess here. You have to. It's
So with the weekly time frame on NJ, let me go down to the daily real quick. The thing I would see about this,
Oh, you made this so easy, guys.
That's only 2 touches.
we can
Yeah,
pick what we want to, which way we want to go. I would short it.
yes. Your choice is long or short. Their choice was the instrument. They're going to be on the opposite side of you. So whatever you're going to place, they're going to place. If you're going to place a buy, they're going to place a sell, and we're going to see which team.
I'd place a short down to here personally.
Okay, so you're going to be short at current market levels. We're going to put you
Yep.
short, guys. Make sure you put the trade in your account. So team blue is going to be short. Team red is going to be long. on this particular trade. I'm
So
actually with
in-
Team Red. I think you guys are gonna surprise them because because I think yen pairs might start to rally. We'll see. But yeah, it's interesting. So I want to just take a minute here to talk to you guys.
Do I have to set a take profit and all that right now, or what?
No, you could leave it open, and we'll remember it's a time stop in many ways, right? So I mean, you can decide
what lot size do we use.
That's the other interesting thing is the bigger the size will determine the P&L as well as the direction. So you can choose.
Oh, so we get to choose our own lot size.
You can choose your own lot size. That's the other aspect of it. The key thing though is that remember you have one more challenge. You can't waste all your margin on this one trade. You do have to keep some in reserve because we have one more challenge after this.
We haven't.
And we'll talk
decided
actually.
fully.
I really want to dive in as to why I would say buy on this hour time frame.
Yeah, we're looking at the weekly though.
We're still
We only got-
we're
we only
still
got 5
iffy
days.
about our choice.
You post the hour?
You only got 5 days.
Right, you have 5 days.
See, that's how I would take that trade though.
Yeah, I would take this. I would take this as a buy right now.
Yeah. Like, I almost want to call it.
You don't have a choice. So Team Blue is short, and
So I
Team
have
Red.
to long this right now. I have to long this right now. What lot size should we do?
Yes. Yeah. You just go market. You're coming in market. Don't worry about a stop for right now. Decide what kind of size you want to do, leaving yourself room for one more challenge in terms of margin.
What's our stop loss?
Well, mine would be 33 pips, but we don't put a stop. We can't put a stop. We can't put a take profit.
3 stand.
No, you could. I mean, if you wanted to put a stop, because if you want to have a risk control here, because remember, if they're not going to put a stop, they could blow themselves out. It's all about at the end of 5 days, who either wins the most or loses the least. So it's lots of considerations you have to make here.
Here's what I would do then. Right here. This is exactly what I would do here. NZDJPY.
I think it's gonna raise short term.
Okay.
Oh, you already said.
Oh, you
Yeah,
want to
I know.
You already said.
I know.
It's saying we could do 20 lots.
20 lots.
If we're risking 50% at the
Somebody take it so
20
serious.
Let's go 20 lots then.
All right, we're going 23.
All right.
24.
What would you really do?
Now you make sure you have enough margin left over for another trade, guys. Really? I don't want to see you blow. Wait, hold on. You have 10,000 in the account. What's the margin on the account? What's the producer is just telling me how much of a margin you guys have? What's the
What is the
maximum?
leverage?
Yeah, what?
All right. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what leverage you have on that account. I thought it was 100 to 1, but I'm not sure.
Our chart's not loading here.
So we basically, leverage is 500 to 1. Oh, so you got lots of leverage. So you have 10,000. 500 to 1. So you have what is that? Is that 5 million? Or 50 million? God, I'm the worst.
You would
10
lose.
standards, you lose $3,300.
You have 5 million. You have 5 million of buying power. Don't waste it all on this trade, though.
But we get more than one trade.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to do 2 trades. We have 2 challenges. It's the first challenge. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
What's our how big is our TP? How many pips?
47. Well, but I would actually hold it. I would move my stop to profit here, and then I would continue to hold, because if you look at the 4 hour, when this broke this high, didn't create a lower low. That's why this didn't create a lower. This didn't create a higher high. This didn't create a lower low. So that's kind of telling you that the real range is this.
Right.
The real range of the market is that, not this.
Wait, hold up a second. Let's listen to your analysis a little bit more. Why do you? The high, lower lows means that you're going to be using the highest high, lowest low as your range. Is that your analysis? I'm trying to understand why you're saying the real range is that.
So we had this. There was an order block here, right here on this level, and when this was not broken or lower, it created an equal range right here. And then this wick, since this did not create a lower low here, what this did is it created an equal range. So in reality, since they already chose the direction, the reason I chose this pair is because if you're looking at the lower time frames, most people are going to think this is the range, but in reality, the actual range is this range. And so I'm going to be holding for this long as well.
Okay, got it. Interesting.
Because and also you also do have, if you look at the daily time frame, you have an inverse not the daily, the 4 hour, you have a inverse head and shoulders pattern forming.
Yeah.
So what I think we're gonna see is this.
Okay.
I'll show you what I see.
Got it. Okay. All right, we're gonna place the trades for you. So team blue is short, team blue is red market right now. No stops, no targets for now, and then we're gonna add the stops and targets a little bit later because these are all longer term time frames till Monday. We'll just put you guys in the market, and then we're gonna let you manage it dynamically. It sounds like you manage the stops dynamically anyways, depending on how the price is reacting. It doesn't sound like you're
hedge?
you were saying to me, was it Derek? That you come into the market. You make a trade and then you watch it. So it's because you're using such higher time frames. It's not like you're trading for with a 10 pip stop or something. And then you adjust it based upon the price structure anyway. So we'll adjust them. Okay.
My big question is, can I hedge?
Can you what?
Can I hedge?
Can you hedge?
Can you hit it? Can you place a trade? Is that what you mean? Yes, you can.
No,
Can I hedge?
Go both ways.
What?
Can I be in a buy and a sell at the same time?
No, one of you guys has to be. One team is on one side. One team has to be on the other side. You can't be on both sides. So that's the whole point. You got to assume risk.
Don't mind it.
yeah.
He's trying to bend the rules.
No hedging. No, hedging is for wussies. No hedging. No hedging. Assume the risk.
Come on now.
Assume the risk. Assume the risk, team blue. Assume the risk, team red.
They place it for.
Okay, so you're allowed to hedge in the account, but and the trades have been placed, but we're going to let them float because it's more about how you guys are going to manage this particular trade. I want to step back a little bit. You guys have something very interesting that I heard about. I'd like you guys tell me a little bit about the 100 million project. Can one of you guys fill me in on what that's about and what are you guys doing? What is that about?
Oh well, Anthony wants to make 100 million.
Anthony wants to make 100 million. So this is his journey to 100 million. Is that the project that you guys are doing?
That's what he's working on.
And 100 million starts with a penny at a time. Is that how we go?
No, he's working his way up. He's getting there.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. US 30. Team blue is. Oh no, it's not US 30. It's Kiwi yen, right? It's Kiwi yen. US 30 is Kiwi yen. Team blue is going to be short, and team red is going to be Okay, they've done Kiwi yen. Okay, they haven't traded US 30, but my producer is asking me if you guys want to make a trade on US 30. Does anybody have a view on that?
Absolutely.
Loverboy signals coming in hot.
Okay. So why don't you guys give me some trades on US 30 because the producer wanted to know if you guys have any direction.
So for me, US 30 is. We have a little bit of divergence in here. We're on a confluent area. I had shorted it to here, but let me remove that. Oh.
You taking notes, boys?
Hey, we're the ones that are up $2 and $4.39 right now.
I know.
Oh, I'm up $10.
It's cute.
Well, I see it shorting for maybe a little bit longer, heading down to this area, and then rising. It can also rise right now if we were to look at it from this standpoint. Areas in the market.
Yeah, it looks a little bit. This is what time frame are you looking at here?
So this is the daily right here.
Daily. Okay. Can I ask you a question? Is that triple Bollinger Bands? What indicator is on there that you're looking at?
Yeah, so I have triple Bollinger Bands. I use Bollinger Bands, me personally. Sometimes they'll make certain patterns in the market where it will go from like the high to the low, and we'll see something line up to where, for example,
Sorry to interrupt you. Just to understand, this is 1 standard deviation, 2 standard deviation, 3 standard deviation. Is that what we're looking at on the Bollinger Bands? Is that the settings?
Two standard deviation, 2.5, and then 3.0, and 34 length.
2.5, 3. Okay, got it.
Yep. So I don't always keep these on my charts. I look for certain patterns with the Bollinger Bands for just another area of confluence when I am trading. And oftentimes, like when it breaks these areas, there's not really a good example right here. Let's look. There's honestly not very good examples right now.
Right.
But
You get nervous over there or something?
no, there's just not very good examples on this pair. Let me pull some up.
But the idea is, if you get a Bollinger Band and a trend line confluence, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. And the Bollinger Bands, like, so the wider they are, the more likely the market's going to reverse off of them. For example, you see in here, it's a squeeze, so the market's all squeezed up. We obviously rode up quite a ways, but once they start to widen out, you'll see the market reject them a lot more. Okay. So that's typically why I use them.
Because they're engaging volatility, and the higher the volatility, the likely chance of reversal.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
That's an interesting little trick. Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool.
I fully agree. Backing what he would say, honestly, I think that's money.
What's money? Sorry, what do you agree with?
Exactly what he was saying.
Oh, about using the volatility as a
they definitely help.
Do you guys? It's interesting. It sounds like you guys are always trying to pick a turn. Like, in other words, maybe within the overall, the bigger time, you trade with trend on a much larger time frame, but on the shorter time frame, you're always looking for the trend reversal into, I guess, the larger trend. Is that the methodology that you guys like to use?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah. So like I'm definitely always looking for a very higher time frame trend, like the daily or the weekly, and then I'm looking for positions of pullbacks to get into sells with that higher time frame trend. Like I personally have US 30 shorting until 27,319. I mean, obviously I have other confluent zones here. Like I'll be looking to take, partials here, partials, and fulls here, but I will be looking in the hour time frame to keep shorting this position off of these 50, 15, everything like that.
Okay, got it. So let's. So the blue is going to be short the 30. Is that what you guys want to do?
So what's the time frame here? Because I think it could
it's still Monday, right? Like the time frame, you got to enter now. You have no choice. You got to enter now, but you have till Monday to basically resolve the trade. So given what you're looking at right now, do you go long? Do you go short? That's the gun to your head. Talk to me.
Makes me think because it doesn't happen with your entry.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the perfect entry. You just got to do the best you can under the conditions. That's we kind of simulate, market stress for you a little bit here. So given what you're looking at right now, what's the higher probability until Monday that you're going to be? Do you want to be short or you want to be long?
Oh God.
Yeah, we'll buy.
Look at these guys.
We'll buy.
We're selling.
Yeah. You buy it. Interesting. It's interesting. I actually so much on your side on this. I think we're a little bit oversold and we get a pop. I think the Fed is going to be less hawkish than people think. It's going to help us out. That's interesting.
I think we're going to see it hit the I think we're going to see it hit the 800 moving average on the hour before we see it buy.
Okay. Okay. So, what Team Blue is going to get short, Team Red's going to get long, and then we're going to see, and then Team Red can manage. Sorry, Team Blue is long, Team Red is
Yep.
short, and Team Red is going to manage. You can manage your stop. You can manage your target very quickly. Like in other words, if it gets close to the 800, you can just take that trade and make it great. Okay, so it's all done. Now we know we're all good. I want to just take a few minutes before our final challenge to talk a little bit about the team-oriented way of you guys trading around. Like, it sounds like you guys are very collaborative in a lot of your ideas. Do you go through charts together? Do you have debates? Do you sometimes collaborate on trades? Take me through your process, because it's very interesting in how you guys are doing all of this.
So
Either one.
we all trade very similar patterns. So we trade a lot of, like I said, a lot of divergence, especially when moving average or confluence happens. A lot of hidden divergence, and then oversold, overbought with the TDI. So sometimes we'll all see a pattern, and we'll be like, "Yep, that's going to do this," and we'll all collab on that trade. And then oftentimes we have Anthony over there that like will take a lot of different types of trades that are higher time frame or trendline breaks or whatever it is. But I'm sure he could explain that a little better than I.
GU monthly. GU monthly.
Sorry. You look at monthly.
Yeah,
Is that
look
what
at that. GU monthly.
Okay.
The GU monthly right now.
Okay, is that pound? What are we looking at? Pound dollar?
Pound dollar.
Pound dollar monthly. And what do you see on there that's interesting?
These wicks down here to this downside for me is telling me that the liquidity grabs and the liquidity was down here, and they were trying to grab liquidity. You had a downtrend that was just recently broken here without forming a new lower low. So you have a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, and then an equal low, meaning that there is no longer a downtrend. So then therefore it broke to the upside back to retest that equal low, meaning therefore the overall high time frame is a buy. So I'm already in buys on this, and I'm going to continue to stack in and scale in, and my take profits at 2,700 pips.
Wow. Now, when you say stack in, you means you're going to be adding to your positions. Do you add lower or do you add high? As it goes against you or as it goes for you? How do you
both. So as of right now, I entered a very, very low risk trades, very, very low risk. And I was actually in probably up here. So I'm in a good bit of drawdown. Pip wise, probably 200 pips. But I entered very, very low risk. So I'm risking maybe 0.5% of my account.
Right.
Very, very, very low risk. But as this market starts to turn around and I start to see buys and new highs formed, like let's say the market decides to come up here, break this high, come back down here, I'll start scaling in higher and higher positions as we're creating an uptrend, and I will continue to scale in, and then that's when I will start doubling my positions. So once I'm in profit on these big positions, I'll start doubling my positions. So I'll start dramatically increasing my lot size to where I'm actually catching 2,700 pips, but I'm scaling in so dramatically that I'm only risking when I'm in profit.
Right. Can you give me an idea of like your initial position on this type of a trade, because it's obviously huge stops, large stuff. Like in terms of percent of account.
I think I'm in about 50 standards here, and then 50 standards down here, and then I actually just recently hedged my 250 standards with a sell of 100 standards. Because I think now that it broke that low, we're going to see it come to this low now. So I hedged my two buy positions with a equal sell position, so I can no longer go more negative, and then I will close my sell when it hits my entry, and then rebuy again, so my account actually stayed the same level of margin the entire time.
Interesting. Okay, got it. Okay, so we're gonna put you guys long pound and the other team short US 30.
Well, but this is a monthly time frame trade.
I understand. We're gonna put you in those trades because you talked about this trade. Now you're in it. That's it. You're gonna own it, my friend.
Okay, let's go.
Take backs.
Well, we'll put you in those. We'll put you in those trades because we're gonna make decisions. Okay, we don't have much time, so we have one final challenge, which is truly like a Vegas type of challenge because this takes all control out of your hands. It's called the wheel, the wheel of risk, and in order to basically what it does is it's going to spin a whole bunch of assets, and when it stops on an asset, you have to choose what kind of trade you want to do. So we'll start first of all. Let's do with Team Blue, Conrad and Derek. In order to stop the wheel, all you got to do is just press Control Enter, and or click to spin, and then Control Enter. And it's going to stop at dollar Swiss. Okay, world's most boring pair, but really dollar Swiss is kind of a proxy for dollar strength. So it'd be interesting to see what you guys think about that. Let's take a look at the charts. Tell us.
Let's see what Conrad thinks about this.
Yeah, let's see what Conrad.
I want to see.
Come on, Connie boy.
I'll go with you.
Absolutely, of course. Let me take these gloves off. Hold on, boys.
Okay.
All right. So
Let me remove all this.
all right, he's removing all that stuff. All right. So what we're looking at here, beautiful uptrend, right? I'm more of a lower. So these guys trade big time frames. More of a lower time frame guy. I've been mentoring, I would say, underneath these guys for the last 2 years. I also kind of do similar markups to Vandy here, which is why we're on the same team and also why we're going to crush this challenge. So I'm looking at it's bouncing off the 50. It's above the 800 on the 1 hour. Let's take a peek at the 4 hour. And a beautiful head and shoulders. So I honestly think that this is going to sink like the Titanic, baby.
Wow.
So the 15-minute, it broke this trend line that I have going here. I think, yeah, I see it shorting. These moving averages do make me a little bit more nervous. But I am the newest of the group, and that is why they put me on the spot, and that's all right. Because I'm sticking to my guns. This is going to be a head and shoulders short.
Okay, sounds good.
That's
That's
good.
basically this is kind of reaffirming the idea that we may see risk, risk come in. That dollar's going to weaken a little bit against everybody as risk on flows come in at the end of the week. So it should be interesting to see how that goes. Okay, now Team Red, Anthony and Grant. Spin that wheel, boys.
And how do we stop it?
Control Enter. It'll stop automatically.
Oh!
No! Spin it again. No. This. By the way, I can't tell you how many times this happens with us where it spins on the exact same thing twice. Okay, much better. Aussie dollar or dollar cat. That's a great pair. Dollar cat. We cheated a little bit. Looks like the producer pushed you dollar cat, which is a bit better. So now you guys got to look at dollar cat. Tell me what you want to do with that.
All right, so I'm gonna go through what just happened.
You can bring it up.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
All right, 4 hour. So I trade similar to these guys, but I use a little bit more of zones and supply and demand. So when I'm looking at this, what I'm looking for are lows to be broken, right? So we have our lows, low. Now, once this thing clears all these lows and it comes back up into our zone, typically the buying power that comes through after these lows are broken is there's a lot of volume that comes afterwards. So I'm looking at this, right? We have this kind of trend line here coming through. And this is just off the 4 hour. A lot of time, and I trade a little bit different. So I'm not looking necessarily too much like at the weekly and monthly, and I'm trying to call trades that are faster moving, 180 pip, 80 pips, some things are faster. So now we've come through, right? We've cleared the lows, we broke out of the trend line. Coming back here, right? So we have more structure here. The way this is bouncing off, the way the market's been reacting lately, I wouldn't want to take this buy because I've seen this thing come down and act like it's going to push up and then come back and fall back lower and keep trending down. Euro AUD or Euro CAD, I think, is a good example, and I'd go over it if we have more time. But that's the way this looks. The fact that it broke the lows, came up, pushed back up into the zone. Right now, we never broke this high, which I don't like, but we are rejecting, off of structure here. So what I would do typically is come back into the hour and the way that this rejected and say that this would want to buy through here.
It's definitely basing on the hourly. It's lots of support there.
Right. Yeah. So I would say that this would want to buy the way that this came through, rejected here off this moving average. They would want to continue up.
Sounds good. Okay, so we're gonna put you long dollar CAD on that one. So short dollar Swiss, long dollar CAD. So just to summarize,
AU.
That was AU.
Oh, that was AU. Oh, that was AU. I thought we're trading dollar CAD. Oh, never mind. Oh, I thought the wheel went to dollar CAD. Okay, never mind. So long Aussie dollar. That's actually very. You guys are very much in sync on the risk direction because you're positive risk with Aussie and you're positive risk with short dollar Swiss. It's interesting. Okay, so we did it. They did Aussie dollar. So you long Aussie dollar. This is the board as it looks right now, which is we have on Anthony and Grant. You're up $1.50 on US 30, Kiwi yen, Aussie dollar, and pound dollar on the long side, and on Derek and Conrad, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, and US dollar. Quiet markets today. Obviously, we're going to have quiet markets until probably Friday, and because everybody is waiting for Jackson Hole. It's also dog days of summer. I'm actually curious. How do you guys? If you guys feel the slowdown in the markets, are you trading a little bit less in August or?
Yes.
Volatility is definitely. Volatility is definitely.
Hasn't been much, honestly, since the whole war started in Russia and all that stuff. It's been weird markets when that all happened, and now we're obviously at like a little bit slower markets. So I'd say less trades for sure, but there's still been some pretty good setups.
No, they happen, and I have a feeling, so. Red corner leading for now, but of course, as we know, it doesn't mean anything until Monday. We're going to summarize all of our trades then. In the meantime, if you guys want to tell everybody a little bit about Trader Society, and also you guys are both obviously all. The good thing is that regardless who wins, the charity wins. You guys are trading for CARE, I believe, right? Is that the charity?
Yes.
Okay. You want to tell us a little bit about just a little bit about yourselves, where people can find you, and also. A little bit about the charity that you guys are trading. Go ahead.
I'll start actually. So I started as the creative director for Trader Society. Underneath these guys, and these guys' vision really was to curate such a beautiful community inside of the trading space. And they're all just incredibly helpful and really care about what it means to be like myself, right? For the last 2 years being underneath them and making sure that I'm getting the proper training and the knowledge across the board for like Vandy said, all pairs. I love these guys to death. It's become a brotherhood. And we've created such a beautiful community inside the Forex space, and what we're doing inside of our Instagram and YouTube is really making it more fun for trading. So from a creative standpoint and also an entry level trader, I would say that Trader Society is such a beautiful community. I will leave it at that.
Great. You guys have a very, very fun Insta feed. A lot of humor on the feed there. Winning a
We like to have fun.
We like to have a lot of fun. We like to have a lot of fun. We like to work hard. And, you know, we just like to be authentic. We just want to show who we really are. You don't have to be in a suit and tie to do this. It's we actually,
clearly not.
We kind of just do whatever we want, have fun with it, and then, you know, trade at the same time. So we love it.
Great. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on board. We really enjoyed it. You guys have some very interesting, unique perspectives on how you guys trade. We really enjoyed you guys taking us through the trades. And we're all going to, obviously, everybody tune in to the trading battle. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because obviously we're going to have these guys back, and I'm sure they're going to want revenge, whoever wins, whoever loses. But in the meantime, everybody enjoy. Have a great day in the markets. The support Schlossberg for Trading Battle. Over and out. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Peace out.